As an investor, when you see an expensive CSGO inventory, you might be like, dang, he's making a lot of money. But what if I told you that might actually not be the case, and that the players that have been sitting around on the cheaper CSGO cases, agent skins, and just other miscellaneous items are actually the ones consistently making the big bucks? Today, let's figure out why this is and why I think it will continue throughout the foreseeable future. So as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And just before we get into it, check out this quick pre-roll on how to get a free $5 trading on SkinsMonkey.
Hi you! Yes, you! Would you like to get $5 for free for your first trade? Just use skinsmonkey.com and get your extra skins. See description below to enjoy the special promotion and receive 5% cashback for trading your CSGO skins.
Well, let's start off by comparing the results of both the high tier market, dragon lore, stuff like that, and why I think the lower tier market, like cases, have seen much better results and should continue to. The thing about the high tier market is that it seems to not only take a lot of hype to move things in price, but there's obviously a much more limited player base that's actually willing to spend thousands of dollars for a single skin, compared to something like a cheap case under $1. Anybody's going to buy that, there's going to be people investing in them, and of course unboxing them as well. But for example, in the high tier market, the M4A4 Howl, about as high tier as it gets, plus the M4A1S getting a nerf in the middle of June should lead to prices going up in something like that, right? Like more people should be going back to the A4 and cases have been going up in price, so why hasn't the high tier market really had any price action at all in these past 6 months? Clearly there's a lot of investors in the game with cases and how well they've been doing. This price action isn't just happening because people want to spend more money on boxing cases. Although those numbers have stayed consistent, you gotta imagine people are happy to pay more money for cases because they seem to do so well long term. So why aren't they spending thousands on something like a Howl or Dragon Lore? No, Dragon Lores as well haven't moved in price either in the last couple of months at least. I bought mine for around $4,000 and it's still right around $4,000. So nothing has really happened in the high tier skin market, and honestly I think it's possible it stays like this for a while, compared to the lower tier cheaper market, which I think can have results a lot quicker and is proven to very consistently. As I said earlier, the thing about the cheaper case market, and honestly stuff like knives out there as well in older cases with way less supply, is that they're really easily accessible for any player. Despite prices rising a lot, the amount of cases opened a month doesn't really change at all in a negative way. It's very consistent. New players are always going to want knives as play skins as well, and they're always going to be opening up cases. Maybe not necessarily all of them investing in them, but either way it should drag prices up, and we should see a lot more people comfortable with maybe spending a couple $100 on cases, knives, whatever it may be in these upcoming months. Not only do we have a consistent stream of more players coming to the game now, and that should continue with the major, but we also have more investors and more people willing to pay more money for cases. So combine all these things together and you would assume that as we get closer to the major and hopefully other big content updates that come before the end of the year, I think it's a lot more safe to say that we'll see results in cases and stuff like that before the higher tier market. I just can't imagine, based on how well the case market has done compared to everything else in the past at least 6 months. It's actually been way longer, but I'll just compare it to 6 months since that's what I looked at the Howl at. I don't think it would make sense for everything to just randomly die off in the case market and for high tier skins to start picking up. I definitely think there is some correlation, to say the very least. And personally, I don't think we'll really see any high tier results or really any crazy profitable moves until the case market picks up again. Now, with all that being said, the case market has gone pretty much completely sideways, if not slightly down in the past month. Nothing has really moved at all. It's just been completely static, no profit to be made. So when is this going to change? Are things going to go up, or are they going to go down first? Or are they going to keep staying sideways for a while? Well, at this point, I think it's kind of a hard call to make. Just judging by the past of really any trend in CS, we can see that whenever we see consolidation like this, just maintaining price for a while, going completely flat like this for an extended period of time, that things typically tend to go upwards after. We see this a lot in cases, the breakout case, the glove case, the broken fan case, just to name a few. But long term, everything in the market has been pretty much straight up. So it's like Am I selling anything I own right now? No, I don't think there's a reason to. I don't think anything has fundamentally changed in the market. We have more players coming to the game. It's not like there's been anything changed with trading or anything, and I don't see any reason for things to just suddenly crash now. We've once again seen a constant trend of just consolidation, break upwards, and then just consolidation, break upwards. It happens very consistently. Sure, an operation could come and drag down prices temporarily, but if you're holding through everything in this market, which has proven to be the best thing to do for years upon years, I don't think there's any reason for that to change now. Player count is increasing. We should very easily have the biggest major of all time in Brazil in just 2 months at this point. Things are looking good for CS. We've had much worse times, and the economy still proves to be strong during those times. And I don't really see that changing. So just holding right now is my plan, and that's not really going to change at all. But until high tier skins start really making a movement and stepping it up from the range they've been in at over half a year at this point, they're not really on my radar, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on them. The thing that I find so interesting about them is that they're maintaining this range. Once again, as I compared with cases, they tend to stay at range for a while and then break upwards in price. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar with the high tier skins in the market as well. Whether this is just because I think whenever somebody buys a high tier skin like a Howl or a Dragon Lore or whatever, that they're bound to hold on to it for much longer than just a case investment or just something cheaper, like a cheaper knife or something. It's a very expensive skin. Like if you're spending $4 grand on something, I doubt you're going to sell it within like a month. So whenever all that supply of, I'll just call it like active high tier skins on the market, like Dragon Lores, all of them that are listed on whatever marketplace site out there, whenever those start getting picked up, and you would assume they do as we see more players come to the game, we should start to see price increases in the high tier market. But until then, I think the case market is really going to dictate when we'll start to see that. And if things stay sideways, we might not really see any results. And when more players come to the game, maybe we'll finally start to see things increasing. Maybe it's going to take until we get to the major. Things could just be boring for a while. But either way, it's like with these cheaper cases under $1, some I could just name off the top of my head, CS20 case, revolver case, stuff like that. I would much rather be betting on something like that to double in price very easily on the Steam market than something like a Dragon Lore, field tested Dragon Lore going from like 4 to 8 grand. Like, I am very confident that we'd see the vast majority of these cases that are under $1 hit that $1 price point or at least double in price before we see the Dragon Lord double in price. So that's just all my thoughts. Beyond all that, I think that is going to wrap it up for this one. As always, once again, all of this is just my own opinion, not financial advice. If you want to invest, it always contains risk of losing the money you put in. So do your own research and realize that always potential risk is there and potential loss is involved. So if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And of course, check out Skins Monkey for that free $5 bonus as well. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.